Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. So, I was in Harbor Freight the other day shopping the 30% off $10 and less items. I shop that sale. I really do like it. I don't just do YouTube videos about it. And I had just finished my cheapest chisels in Harbor Freight video, and lo and behold, I found another set of chisels at Harbor Freight. The Woodworking set. Here they are here. There's 6 chisels in this package, and the MSRP is $9.99. Now, I purchased these with 30% off, which means I got this set of 6 chisels for $7. I know, that's even sillier than the last set. Now, you know the last set I didn't really find much use for other than, you know, for a homeowner to put in their house if they just needed a chisel. I'm going to give these a try and I'll let you know how they go. A few things of note. These actually advertise as chrome vanadium steel, which, you know, is at least a type of steel that's used in tools, where the other ones just said some kind of basic steel. So these might have a little bit better steel in them, and, you know, I think they're a better size. They're at least a good length for woodworking. Time will be told on the handles when I get them out of the package. It's the same package, you just kind of do this, and all of them come out. So I'm going to get them sharpened up, and we'll take a look at them. Okay guys, a few things to note here. I've just barely gone over this chisel on the 1000. You see we have a hollow here in the middle, which is normal. That hollow is like a triangle right there. You know, this is almost always how you see a chisel when you get it. There's going to be a little dish in the middle, and you just kind of work your way down. But it's shining up nice here. These are much better ground than the butt chisels that I did last week. They were so dull, I actually smashed them on my arm. These might cut if I smashed it on my arm. The ground is much better on these. The handle it seems to be wood. This hoop is loose. I'm pretty sure I could pull this hoop right off, so unfortunately, I'm going to be honest, the hoop is pretty much there for show. I don't think it's doing anything being this loose, but I'm impressed with the steel so far. Let's get the back flap. I'm going to keep going. If this doesn't go away soon, I'm going to go to a coarser stone, but it seems to be removing it pretty quick. I'm going to go to the coarser stone. Alright, a little fast motion of the back being flattened with the 120 stone. Once I finished with the 120, I went through the rest of my stones and the strop and got the back nice and flat and shiny. From there, I did the bevel on all of the stones as well, and as you can see, there's a nice micro bevel on the chisel as well. I'm going to pick it up here in a second and try to show you the flat mirror finish on the back. The camera makes this really hard to pick up, but there you can see it, as well as the micro bevel there. This chisel is nice and sharp. Okay, one task of a woodworking chisel that we always want to try is setting a hinge. And here I've already laid out the hinge, and I'm just giving it a few whacks now to get it down to depth. And I'm going to speed this up here in a second, but as you can see, because we have a set of chisels that has 6 different chisels in it, I was able to pick the right size chisel for this job. The 1-inch chisel was perfect for this hinge. So I just made a series of downward chops, and then I went around the edge. You're going to see here in a minute, since we have a big boy here, I went and got him and used it to do the long edge. So I scribed around the whole side with the chisel. And now this hinge is only like a less than a 1/16 thick, so we're not taking much out here. And I'm just going back and forth a little bit, getting it down to depth, and then I'm going to come in from the outside on the line. You can see the marking gauge there. I did make a line down there that I can just come in from, and it peels up nice. The chisel's doing a nice job here. It peeled that up nice and popped it out. Give it a little final smoothing. I'm just running the flat over it to see if I can feel some bumps. And, you know, set the chisel. This one worked pretty well. Okay, another job of a woodworking chisel would be to do mortise work. Now, there are dedicated mortising chisels when you're going to really dig one of these out, but I went and used the drill press and drilled out the meat of this mortise, and I'm just using a few of the chisels in the set of different sizes to go tear away the remaining pieces. My drill press did not work for me well here. As you can see, I got a lot of meat on one side and I'm almost right on the line on the side closer to us here. But, you know, I didn't exceed the line anywhere, so it's not a big deal. We just got to remove a little bit more on that side. Now over here, I'm going right to the line immediately because there was almost nothing left. And, you know, you just go around wearing away the waste and then getting the corners with the 1/4 inch. The 1/4 inch chisels your rock here. It gets in there and cleans everything out. I think a 1/4 inch chisel is necessary in every woodworking set. It's, you see there, you get in there and dig everything out. It's the little pick. It's the tool that does all the dirty work. You know, the 1/2 inch, the 3/8, you know, 3/4, whatever you like. They do a lot of the joinery work, but that 1/4 inch chisel, man, it's the one that gets in there and does all the real nitty gritty work. I totally believe the 1/4 inch chisel should be in every set. And you know, this worked fine. The going back and forth between a few chisels worked. I got one more piece there I don't like where my finger is, and I'm just grabbing a chisel and I'm going to just pare it away. And that worked fine too. These chisels are holding their edge quite well. Okay, we're talking woodworking chisels, so we got to do dovetails, right? Yep. And this is where these chisels let me down a little bit. The sides of these are very wide. I mean, these are almost firmer chisels. Look at that side there where my finger is. It is very thick. The bevel is there. There's a beveled edge, but the bevel does not get anywhere near the flat of the chisel. And you're going to see here later on, I'm going to point out a real big mistake I made. But right now, I'm just wearing away. I'm going way away from the line, and I just, you know, hit down a little bit, and then I come from the end and take a little piece away, do it again. Unfortunately, these pins are a little bit less than a 1/2 inch, so I'm using just a 1/4 inch chisel here, which means I got to go back and forth, which is, you know, if you plan a little bit better, you can make the dovetails the size of your chisels. You know, and you can see there, actually, there's finally a view where I'm able to show you the actual, see the mirror finish on the back there? I guess that's where I should have showed you the mirror finish, that I have such trouble. I have such trouble trying to show that when I'm sharpening. So I'm just wearing this away now. I'm still working way away from the line. And once you flip it over, you know, it breaks free. And then I just take and, when it breaks free, it kind of gets stuck, and I kind of just turn and split the cut-free piece here to get it out, and then hang it over the edge of the bench and pound it out of there. They do like to wedge themselves in there. That's part of the deal with a dovetail. It's kind of a wedging joint. And now I'm going to get the other one out of there. And at this point right here, when we get this piece out, if you were somebody to use a fret saw or something, this is where you would start the chiseling process. You know, you would have sawn to this point. Now what I do is I take about half the meat and wear it away, and you know, you work your way up to the line, trying not to exceed the lines and not to bruise any of the pieces. And in a minute here we're going to see that I made a big boo-boo. I'm going to be very honest with you, I have not cut dovetails in years. My eyesight would not let me do it, and I just kind of gave up on it. I recently had cataract surgery, and my eyes are much, much better, and I can do this kind of work now. And unfortunately, you see what I'm pointing at there? I went too close, and this edge is just not sharp enough. It's just too flat, and it bruised the tail. I'm gonna give you a view of it here. I really made a mess of this. The chisel is cutting fine. The steel on these chisels is fine. The edge on this chisel, at the end of the video, I'm gonna take and give you well, there's a good view of it right there. You can see how thick that edge is where it's not beveled. It's almost like a firmer chisel, guys. These are really not ground too much of a beveled edge, and it makes it difficult to do a dovetail and get in the corners. I'm trying to do cleanup here now. I'm down to the line for the most part on that side. Flip it over and get to the other side, and you can see there's some schmutz in the corners, and I'm just struggling to get it. You know, I'm just struggling to get that chisel into the corner. It's not horrible. I mean, there's no way I could use this board on a box. I mean, this is I'm finishing this to show you the chisel. That first cut I did, that ruined that. I'm going to show it to you again here in a minute. I'm working on that piece right now. I ruined it. But for this demonstration, guys, don't judge the dovetail judge the chisels. And what I'm going to tell you here is the steel on these chisels is pretty good. These chisels are cutting nicely, but that edge, you see it right there, it's laying on the bench, that beveled edge, that almost looks like a mortise chisel there. And there's the horrible mess I made of that one. You know, now I'm trying to get it in the corner there, and you can see how thick that is. There's almost no bevel. So unfortunately, these are not great for dovetails. They're cutting fine, but they're not the tool I'd want to use. And there I'm trying to fix my mess again, and there's no fixing that. That is firewood, unfortunately. But I think it's a good example of the chisels themselves do have steel. That's cherry I'm working on there, and they cut cherry fine. They do have an edge that will cut. Okay guys, my final impressions of the Harbor Freight woodworking chisels. Well, it's a mixed bag here. There's some good, there's some bad, and there's some ugly. I'm going to start with the ugly and work my way up. Ugly to me, right here at the end, this hoop is loose. It's doing nothing. I think I could pull it right off if I wanted to. Maybe just not quite, but it's not doing anything. It's really just there for show. They're trying to make these look like a certain type of chisel. But that's the only ugly to it, really. I don't think anything else would make ugly qualifications here. The bad, well, there's a couple of bad as well. One of them is superficial because it's just personal preference. I don't like the handle. It is wood. I don't know what kind of hardwood it is, but it is a hardwood. To me, it's too skinny. It's just not, I don't like the shape. Probably shouldn't give it a bad because that's personal preference. You might like it. So let's just throw that one out. I think it's bad, but you might like it. But a bad to me is this bevel edge. As you can see here, these are almost firmer chisels. There's a bevel, and then this is all flat here. This is all flat ground. That is a lot of bevel. Let me look at a half-inch one here. See all the grind there? Look at how much there is, and just that little bit of bevel on the top. Here's a real bevel chisel. Look at that bevel. Now this is a stupid comparison because this is a $90 chisel and this is a $1 chisel. So I'm trying to show you what I mean when I say this is too much of a flat spot. Look at that there. That flat spot is a 64th of an inch maybe. This can get in. Now this chisel's too thick to do this, but as you can see, this can get right into those corners and avoid making a mistake like I did here. So yeah, the bevels are bad. Honestly, the 1/4 inch, guys, looking at it now, there's no bevel at all on it. Look at it. It's perfectly flat on the top and then perfectly flat here. This is a firmer chisel. This is not a bevel edge chisel. This is almost a 1/4 inch mortising chisel. As a matter of fact, you can cut a mortise with this no problem at all because the steel is good. That's where we're going to get to the good. They advertise it as chrome, I'm going to try to pronounce it right. Chrome vanadium. They actually have it written right on the top here. And I've seen other tools using chrome vanadium, and honestly guys, I got these chisels nice and sharp, and I have not gone back to the strop during all of the time I've been using them here. They've been able to cut, they hold an edge acceptably. They don't hold an edge as good as this $90 chisel, but you know, who the hell would expect that? They hold an edge absolutely acceptable for what I think these chisels are for. And let me get to that. What are these chisels for? Well, these are probably an excellent set of second beater chisels. You know, if you're going to have a second set of chisels that you're going to do that kind of, well, maybe sketchy, you know, hit it a little harder, bend it a little bit, you know, something where you're really doing some chopping and you don't want to use your $90 chisel, get yourself a set of these for 10 bucks or wait for the next 30% sale and get them for $7. Sharpen them up, and when you got to use a little bit of extra force, use these. They have good steel, they will cut, so they'll do the job for you. Obviously, I'd much rather use these every day, but you want to know something? When I need to use these will do most jobs. Not the greatest for dovetails, but you know, want to know something? Because it has that big flat edge there, because it's no good for dovetails, it's good for mortises. And the 1/4" chisel is something that I love to go into slots and mortises that I cut and dig out. And this is an this tool here, I may forget about these other 5. This will be in my kit because I like this 1/4" chisel. So there you have it, guys. I think there's a use case for these. They do have an edge that will cut. They're worth getting as a second set. This is not a starter set, even, you know, for a beginner. I would say if you're a beginner, get yourself 3 or 4 Narex bevel edge chisels. You can buy them at Amazon. You can buy them at Tower Toolworks, I believe. You can get them at several places now. Lee Valley sells them individually for like less than $20 a piece. Start with 3, a 1/4 inch, an inch and a 1/4. You know, the extremes, the digging and the wide paring, and then get yourself something around a 1/2 inch. 5/8, 1/2 inch, 3/8, whatever you're comfortable with. This is the chisel you'll do 80% of the work with, but this is the digger and this is the parer. That's a great start to shed. Just, you know, do it with the Narex bevel edge chisels. I'll put a link down below so you can see them. I really think this is a set to be a second set, to be your beaters, to be the chisels alone to somebody. But I can't say they're junk. They work. And that is good. They have good steel and they do get the job done. So in a pinch, if you need a chisel, buy this set and you got 6 of them, you can sharpen them up and they'll work. So I hope that made sense for you. I hope you liked that. If you did, please hit the like button. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.